Out with Level Up Tuts, and today we're going to take this a little bit further, and we're only going to change this text once we push that button that we made. If we come back to our Android device, you can see we have this press me button, and right now it's not doing anything. We have this text that says changed, but by default it's loading up saying changed. We want to be able to have this button push and do something, and so as a nice basic example, I think this will suffice. So the same way we referenced our text view, this find view by ID, and then we pulled the resource right here using r.id.textView1, we're going to do the same thing to find our button. The data type here is actually going to be button this time instead of text view, and we're going to call our button, we're just going to call it push me, and notice the camel casing on the naming of that variable, and we're going to say push me is equal to find view by ID, and we're going to say r.id. And then we can find our button number 1 right here. I'm going to end this off with semicolon, save this, and likewise you remember we had this underline right here that says underscore button, or it's underlining button here, and it's wanting you to import. If you had multiple things you could import, and let's say we wanted to do all the ones we had to do at once instead of just doing them individually, we could always go to source and then organize imports. Or you can see it's Command-Shift-O on the Mac. For Windows, you'll have to check out what your shortcut says for you. But as you can see up top here, it's added our Android widget button import. So now we don't have to do that, and it's no longer underlined. And just like before, let's add a cast to this by hovering over it and just select Add Cast. Now let's save this, and there we can have access to our button now. So how do we do this? How do we access this button and it's push me, and when we push it, how do we have it do something? Well, if you're familiar with other types of programming, you may have heard of something like an on-click listener. What we need to do is have an on-click listener on this button. So let's type our variable that's referencing our button, this push me, and we're going to use the method set on click listener. And this is really listening for a click. When this button is clicked, it's going to trigger something. So what is it going to trigger? It's going to trigger a new and then view dot on click listener. And if you'll notice, when I hit enter there, it auto completed that and it gave me all this stuff. Now I'm not going to go into the specifics, but this stuff that's happening inside of this on click method inside here is what's going to happen once this button has been clicked. So let's take this text1 set text, let's cut it from where it was, and we're going to paste it into this method here. It's also giving me an error here because it's wanting a semicolon. You'll notice Eclipse is really good about giving you errors anytime there's something is not going to be working for some reason, and usually you can hover over it and find out what's going on. Another case, something sort of funny here, it says cannot refer to a non-final variable. So really what we want to do is we want to change the modifier of text1 to final. And this is really saying that this variable cannot be reassigned. So I'm going to click this, and I'll go over more about when you're going to use this and not going to use this in future lessons. For now, we're just trying to get this working. So let's leave it here. Final, you can see our error's gone away. We can save this, and now let's click our play button, and it's going to launch our new app. And 1 second here, once this boots up, we'll be able to see it says the hello level up tuts that we have it set in the XML, and then when we press this button, it says changed. Crazy, cool. And we can keep pressing it, it's not going to do anything. I mean, you could see down here in our log cat, it's giving up some messages here, but other than that, it's not really doing anything. So great, every time we launch this app, it's going to say changed. So another thing that you should notice here is if you're in your emulator, let's say you hit the home key by accident for some reason, and here's your home screen, but where's this app that you've just been running? Well, when you actually run an app using this emulator, it's installing it to this virtual device, and you'll be able to access it by clicking on the app drawer, and just like any other app, or just like any Android phone, you can see we have our Level Up Tuts app is installed in the ranking or listing here. So you can even get an idea of what your app's going to look like on somebody's real phone. So we can click and hold and throw this onto the desktop if we want. That way, if we ever accidentally click out of the app, you can just click it up and start back into it. Perfect. So, as always, if you have any questions or comments, leave a comment in the video, hit us up at Twitter, Level Up Tuts. Like I said, there's a lot of craziness going on, but you're going to understand more and more the more that we do, and eventually we're going to be getting into some really complex interaction, and we're going to be making some great Android apps. As always, this is Scott with Level Up Tuts. Thanks for watching. Bye.